in the coming days. And we will also update you on new webinars and initiatives on championgreen.ie in the coming days. And I would like to take the opportunity to thank Kira and Kate and the Champion Green webinar team for facilitating our session today. So let's get started. How can small businesses who are here today on our Champion Green webinar utilize free and subsidized business support available to them to maximize their business potential and to navigate the coming months? Let me start with Dave Flynn of Skillnet Ireland. Dave, you've been very busy over the last year and a half or so with all the new initiatives that Skillnet Ireland have launched, including Climate Ready, Skills Connect, Rebound, Clear Customs, and indeed MentorsWork. Can you tell us a bit about the benefits of a program like MentorsWork for small businesses?
Absolutely. Good morning, Sven. I suppose, folks, in terms of the various different initiatives that's going to learn this launch over the last 18 months, you're absolutely right, Sven. I think the core one I'd like to focus on today is MentorsWork. So that initiative is open for small businesses, whether they're operating in any county in Ireland or in any sector in Ireland. And it's an initiative which the second phase of which is just launched. So the first phase of it has been complete, folks, and approximately 700 businesses have already been through the initiative. It's been a great success and we've got great feedback from it. So I suppose it's really aimed at SME owners and managers, the managers in smaller and medium-sized businesses. And I suppose if you think about maybe the last 18 months, folks, it can be a lonely time and a lonely experience for people managing a business in the best of times, but certainly over the pandemic period, it has been a challenging time for many companies. So I suppose one of the key benefits then is the access that people get through the MentorsWork initiative, which is a free initiative, I should state, to an experienced mentor, somebody who has an expertise in one of the core areas of the program. And being able to kind of bounce ideas off that mentor, bounce kind of challenges within the business off a mentor, somebody who's outside of the business but understands your company well, somebody who can give a lot of expert advice and help you to build a business plan that will improve your business over the next 6 months, a very focused business plan. I think that's some of the great feedback that we're getting from participants in terms of the impact that's made for the people who've participated within MentorsWork. So I suppose over and above that kind of that core mentoring support, which is really the heart of a MentorsWork, which is a 12-week initiative, there are lots of other benefits and bolt-ons and wraparound supports within the program itself. So there's lots of masterclasses, for example, in subjects that people are really interested in, be it innovation, be it getting your business online, or how to make the best use of your search engine optimization, and lots of other workshops on change management and many other relevant topics. There are peer-to-peer opportunities as well, so for business owners to engage with other companies to share the benefits of their experience, and also to gain insights from other companies who've been there, done that in terms of their own experience and their own journeys as well. Within MentorsWork, Sven, there's a diagnostic tool. So some company owners or managers might be looking to see, well, look, I know I need something. I know there's a challenge within my business, but I just can't put my finger on it in terms of what that is. So there's an opportunity there for the participants, for the owner managers, to go through a diagnostic tool that helps them to understand their own skills and their own core strengths, but also if there's other things that they need to maybe potentially work on through the program itself. So there's lots of supports there, as I say, over the 12-week program within MentorsWork, and it culminates then in that development of a strategic business improvement plan for the next 6 months of the business. And as you say, Sven, coming into a very important 6 months for many businesses.
And tell me, how do you actually apply for MentorsWork? What are the next steps for businesses that are listening to us this morning and would like to take a next step? What's the process there?
So the next steps then for any business that's interested is to go onto the MentorsWork website. So there are 400 places available. We're just, as I say, launching the next phase of MentorsWork. So those places are available, but they will be allocated over the coming weeks. So I would strongly encourage any participant, anybody who's participating in the webinar, who's running a business or managing a small and medium-sized enterprise, to go onto the MentorsWork website. They'll get a great feel for the overall program, for the types of areas that MentorsWork focuses in on. So getting the best out of your people, finances and growth, understanding the key numbers that drive your business, understanding maybe new market opportunities, getting the best out of your processes, so looking to make your business even more efficient, digitalization, getting the best use of the digital tools that are out there. So there's a great, range of things that are available through the MentorsWork initiative. And of course, there's an element of selection so that companies who participate can kind of really focus in on the things that are most pertinent for their enterprise, as it were. So the MentorsWork website, Sven, is the place to go to learn more about the program, the application process, the companies that are eligible to participate, which really is any SME, any enterprise between 5 and 250 members of staff, regardless of the sector or county that they're operating in Ireland. But we anticipate that those 400 places will fill up very, very quickly. So I would, again, just encourage people to maybe visit the MentorsWork website later today if they can.
And the domain name for the website is mentorswork.ie. Very simple, very straightforward. So let me bring in Veronica Murphy. Your business, the Discovery Partnership, provides the panel of mentors for the MentorsWork program. Before we come to what small businesses and what types of businesses can get the most benefit out of the program, what exactly is a mentor? What does a mentor do?
The mentor actually supports the smaller, medium-sized enterprise throughout the course of the whole program. So it's a very confidential engagement with the client company. So once the company is onboarded onto the MentorsWork program, what happens is that the client company is matched to the most suitable mentor for their sector, or perhaps it might be a discipline area as well. So companies have an opportunity, we've had something like 55 different sectors, everything from aviation to retail to food, manufacturing, technology companies. And we've also had a whole range of companies at different stages of their life and different entrepreneurs. So this truthfully is very egalitarian. It is open to all of those that meet the specification of above 5 people. And then once the company completes an onboarding process, so after they've applied and they've been successful, the company will then be invited to an onboarding session. And during that session, they will go through the diagnostic that Dave mentioned. So it's very confidential. It's really very specific to their business. And they have a really chunky and solid report to be able to go off and look at what can I now do to be able to improve my business. And that report provides a great bedrock for the engagement with the mentor. So the mentor then will be someone who will be either from their sector, or indeed they may cover a range of sectors, but they might have very deep discipline knowledge in terms of finance or social media, digital marketing, digital productivity tools, whatever, right? So the selection process for the mentor is quite detailed, and a lot of thought is given into that. And the mentor will work with the business over the course of the 12-week program, totally on a confidential basis, to be able to sit down and identify the key needs and interventions that business will need, and help and motivate them to put that plan into action and identify champions within their own business to be able to take corrective action and put things on, put matters into place, and really encourage the business to take maybe the bold steps to move forward, So it's a very confidential relationship. And one of the things I really think is important to stress here as well is that the MentorsWork program is really for all SMEs, because sometimes maybe perhaps as a small business, a company hasn't experienced having a mentor or a coach before, and they may be a little bit fearful of signing up. And I think that's something that's really important, that the feedback has indicated almost universally that people have been really delighted with the new experience if they haven't engaged in that before.
So it's basically for small business owners who sometimes feel a bit, not isolated, but it can be a lonely job, as Dave said, have really an extra set of eyes and ears that can rely on, a sparring partner on a daily basis, somebody they can talk to confidentially, and somebody who is selected very carefully according to their business needs, but also according to what came out of the onboarding and skills assessment process.
Yes, absolutely. And I think what's also really relevant is that the mentors are immersed in business interventions day in, day out. So they're very much at the leading edge of knowledge in terms of funding applications, new supports, etc. So the business can often be quite caught up, the smaller business can be quite caught up in the doing of their own business and may not necessarily be aware of the whole range of supports that are available to SMEs. So I think that extra piece of knowledge, as well as the new eyes on the business, can be really beneficial. And I'm sure you'll hear that from some of the participants as well later on in the webinar.
Thank you, Veronica. Really good point to bring in Tony Dignam. Your business, the Agile Executive, provides training, the workshops and masterclasses for MentorsWork. Your trainers are in very close contact with all of the MentorsWork participants. What trends do you see emerging, and what challenges are small businesses facing post-lockdown as we head into this busy last quarter of the year and towards 2022?
I suppose that the biggest challenge, and it's the challenge that business has been facing for the last 18 months, is still that uncertainty. How people's behaviors are going to change, how companies' behaviors are going to change in a post-lockdown world. And we've seen some of the big employers who have many office buildings cutting back their office footprint, getting out of leases, on the basis that they're planning for a more blended, return to work, where people will be working from home, maybe on an average of 2 to 3 days a week. So I think as a business, you've got to look and try and understand how those behaviors are going to impact your own business. So I suppose the key thing, and this touches on what Veronica is saying, is trying to plan. We're seeing, the businesses that are engaging, in MentorsWork and other programs, they're the ones that are being proactive, that are trying to assess. Nobody knows what the future is going to look like, but at least if you assess and you put plans in place to try and take advantage of changing behaviors, or just be aware and be ready to sort of adapt your business to what changes are happening. And I think that's the key thing is not just to wait and assume that things are going to come back to the way they were. They're not, and nobody knows what that new normal is going to be. But I think the more you sort of think about it, plan it, try and understand where your business is going, engage with other people. Just by talking with a mentor, by going on the training programs where it's not just the trainer that you're engaging with, it's other business owners that you're able to then hear what their challenges are, hear what their ideas are, how they've approached things. And it's taking advantage of. There's many sort of government supports that have been put in place. MentorsWork is a super one. There are others that, the local enterprise offices have put new programs in place. Enterprise Ireland have put programs in place, Intertrade Ireland. So looking to see, well, maybe do you need to be looking, outside of Ireland? Is this a good time to be looking to expand your business and take advantage of opportunities? So it's constantly trying to look, engage, and see where the opportunities through all this might be. We've seen some fantastic examples of businesses that have totally flipped to online, and their business is booming in a different area or a different direction than maybe they thought. So it's being proactive, it's planning, it's engaging, it's talking to whoever is available to talk to you to help and be ready for the new norm, whatever that might be.
And tell me, Tony, as I mentioned, the Agile Executive provides the training, the workshops, the masterclasses. And what sort of masterclasses are they? What are you looking at in your 60-minute or 120-minute sessions? What areas do you cover?
The areas, we've done some ones on basic finance, so really helping business owners understand their numbers, understand trends, what are happening in their business, making sure they understand their margins, what part of your business maybe is making profit. In most businesses, there are elements that are very profitable and elements that maybe aren't, are customers that aren't making profit for you. So understanding your numbers is kind of a starting point, I think, for businesses. And there's some really good content in that. Mary Hayden has been working on that, looking at sort of business strategy, helping businesses go through that process of, pivot was a big word of, I think, of 2020, but just looking to see, well, where are the opportunities and how do you, look at a change in the direction of your business? I think the most recent one that's coming up is on innovation. So looking to see again, how can you innovate? How can you look and adapt your business to the new opportunities? The real popular ones, I think, have been in the digital space, digital marketing, SEO, going online, marketing using. There's so many free ways of marketing your business online using social media. I think those programs on how to take advantage of that and how to use it effectively have been very popular. So lots of that digital automation space. How can you make your business more efficient? That's been very popular as well. So it's a lot of that, finance, strategy, innovation, digital, how to use digital tools, how to make your business more efficient, how to get your business online. They're the key areas that we've seen a lot of interest in. And a lot of businesses really advancing themselves. So that combination of that training and then a mentor that's going to help you maybe take that knowledge that you've learned and implement that into your business.
So I take it it's a seamless process. So back maybe to Veronica. So it's together with the mentor. They look at businesses participating, look at what a training and workshop plan could look like for a small business taking part in MentorsWork.
Yes, and the whole process is very holistic, and I think it's really important to get across to companies that all of these elements together. So you have a competency assessment, you have 3 sessions of mentoring spread out over the 12 weeks. You've unlimited access to workshops that you participate with peer-to-peers, and you've masterclasses as well as access to a really fabulous online curated learning platform that people can dip into at any stage of the day and take little bites of training. And this has proved to be really a very effective way of people getting training, because sometimes maybe, you might have people who are on different shifts or they're available at different times of the day. So the flexible learning collated with the masterclasses and workshops, the online platform of the training platform has proved to be very popular. And all of that culminates together in helping the business create a business improvement plan and to get working on it and feel motivated to achieve it. And the other really important thing, and some of the feedback that is coming back from satisfied clients as well, is that this process has really ignited employees who've been with businesses for a long number of years. So it's given them new momentum. And, the online platform, the business can actually benefit from 3 licenses. So it's not just one person. This then becomes a much wider initiative among the team for the team to be able to benefit. And that can be very beneficial if you're developing managers, or, for example, like Tony has mentioned there, that maybe within your business, you might have identified someone that you feel has very good potential to develop digital skills for the business or social media skills, but they need an intensive program. So the online learning platform is very suitable for that type of individual or staff member within a company. So it's a very holistic program, and probably, in terms of the different elements there, quite unique in terms of what it offers.
Thank you, Veronica, and indeed Tony. And let me bring in Barry Prost. Barry, you're co-founder and managing partner of the recruitment firm Yala.ie. Before I get to your question, what exactly does Yala do?
Yeah, thanks, Sven, and great to be participating this morning. So Yala is a recruitment business. We support SMEs with 2 services. We act as their in-house recruiters for companies that perhaps don't have the requirement or the resources to employ a full-time recruiter. And we also provide an employer branding service, which is based around using videos and images to attract staff to their businesses. So that's in a nutshell what Yala does, Sven.
Excellent. And you're also one of the previous participants of the MentorsWork program. Can you tell us how this benefited your business?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, look, I mean, I thought MentorsWork was fantastic. I think, you know, for me, one of the key benefits was the mentoring. I think, you know, as an entrepreneur, we're often the most experienced person in your business, and I think, you know, from a learning perspective, it's often not ideal. So it was fantastic. My own personal experience was to have the sort of the outside expertise from, you know, an entrepreneur, you know, to provide guidance and really act as that sounding board, or like that, you know, a sparring partner, if you like, you know, around kind of overall strategy and where the business is going, and, you know, keeping the business on clear tracks. You know, avoiding getting distracted, and really making sure that you're on the right track, and supporting you from that perspective.
And tell me, from your experience, what other grants and schemes are available for small businesses that they might not be aware of, and how can these benefit businesses around the country?
Yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised, Sven. You know, as a business, or you know, we had never looked for any government support, and I think when COVID hit last March, you know, from a recruitment perspective, our revenue dropped by 90%. So we reached out, and we were very much pleasantly surprised in terms of what we found was available. I think there were probably three, in addition to MentorsWork, there were probably three other government supports I'd probably like to share with you this morning. Number one was the LEO, the local enterprise office, as Tony mentioned. You know, this is primarily for companies with 10 or less full-time employees. And a couple of the key supports there. Number one would be the trading online voucher, which is where it's co-funded. So the LEO, or the local enterprise office, will provide 50% of the investment to the business, and up to a value of €5,000, and that is to upgrade your website, primarily to facilitate kind of e-commerce. But certainly that process was, you know, it was very easy, and you know, it was kind of very efficiently run from the local enterprise office side. Other supports they provide are training courses around Facebook for business, and LinkedIn for business, and these are at like a nominal cost of, you know, €20 for 6-week courses. And thirdly, they run networks. So they would run, you know, food networks or craft networks. Women in business is another one, and they provide specialist training for these industries. So I would encourage anyone, you know, to reach out to their local enterprise office. And you know, the way to go about that is, you know, where your business is based, you reach out to the enterprise office in your area. Secondly, I mean, Enterprise Ireland was available to us as well. That's for larger businesses typically. We got funding for 2 innovation vouchers. And so that's if you've an idea around a new process, or you know, a new way of doing something. Enterprise Ireland will provide a voucher of up to €5,000 that you can spend with you know, a variety of kind of educational institutions around Ireland. So we've collaborated with Trinity College, and that was around kind of a new process that you know, around embedded recruitment, and also employer branding as a service to employers. So you know, they provided that voucher, which goes directly to the educational institute, but it's fully funded. So, for example, we're researching facilitating user-generated content on our online branding platform to allow employers upload their own videos onto our platform. So that's something that we're working with Enterprise Ireland at the moment. And finally, Sven, I'd just like to mention the Work Experience Employment Programme, which is run by the Department of Social Welfare. And again, it's fully subsidised, so you can, you know, a business can employ someone. who was on this program. Typically, it's it's candidates who've been on the EWSS or who've been on social welfare for the past 6 months. And they will work for the business for up to 30 hours a week. And also included in that is they provide 60 hours of training for the individual, and that's across 6 months. And they also provide mentor training for the employers, so the employer understands how to get the best out of the scheme as well. And you sign up through that through jobsireland.ie. So I would certainly recommend employers kind of look into that. That's just been launched this month, actually, or last month, sorry.
Thanks, Barry. What I suggest is that through Champion Green, we post a link on championgreen.ie with an overview of all the available grant supports, including those that Barry just mentioned. That's really helpful. Another one which is being overlooked from time to time, and I think, Tony, you mentioned it, Intertrade Ireland has really an excellent additional online grant available, so that link to that new grant scheme will be available on the Champion Green website then as well. So let me bring in Trudie Power, you're Managing Director of Trudie's Kitchen. Tell us a bit more about your business. I believe there's an anniversary coming up.
Hi, Sven. Yes, Trudie's Kitchen started on September the 1st, 2000. So next week on Wednesday, we're celebrating 21 years in business. So we're absolutely delighted to have reached this milestone of learning and adapting, and we've gone through one recession, and then when COVID hit in March of 2019, we upskilled all of our staff. I found out about MentorsWork through the local enterprise office. They sent us an email, and I just clicked on it and thought it'd be of great interest to us. And with a couple of clicks, we were approved, and we started liaising then with MentorsWork team, with Denise and her team. And like, our business dropped by 40% overnight. So we availed of the wage subsidy for our staff, and rather than feeling miserable for ourselves, we decided to cross-train all of our staff in each department. So that's how we used up each week we decided on who was going where, from the cook zone to production to deliveries. So all of our team members now can do each other person's job, which we found invaluable throughout the whole course of people being on annual leave. It took the pressure off the team as well. But where we succeeded mostly, I think, is that we looked at our team, we looked at our organizational chart and who was who, and we developed a new team from within our team. And with the MentorsWork program and the confidence it gave us, like, we were only trying to survive, but the confidence that we gained throughout the MentorsWork program, instead of just surviving, we started to thrive, and we adapted our business. We took on new customers. We went central billing with Aldi over 3 different, Grow with Aldi and 2 others. We'd never done a nationwide plan before, and like, we are manufacturers and we have 4 vans on the road with 4 drivers, but that's a whole new angle that we learned through our mentor. And what we found with our mentor was, we thought we were the only people in MentorsWork. He was so good, he was so dedicated to us. When he came on, he was quick firing questions from our previous session. Like, you have to do your homework. That's one thing, because they do expect you to succeed, and they want to succeed with you and bring you on the journey of your financials. The financials end was really important to us, because we have now, we're in the process of purchasing the premises that we had been leasing for the last 19 years. So to say, coming through COVID and then deciding to purchase the premises and, just to progress your business. So our financials made a lot more sense to us, rather than waiting until the end of the year and the accountant saying it's good news, but we're looking at it on a weekly, monthly and quarterly basis now, and we're using our systems, which we now understand better. So we were linking in from masterclasses to our mentor, and really getting the benefit out of it. And the best part was, as Veronica had said earlier, we're early birds. So we're in at 6 and we finish at 2:30. So our mentors were able to work around our opening hours, and our Precipio then we could do anytime, 8, 9 o'clock at night. So, and And what was great about it was the pathway on the Principio. We could have gone from leaning out processes to production processes, back over to management and that. So you're able to just hop around all of the different case studies as well. So.
And I saw in the Times UK recently that you also learned how to juggle with vegetables.
Yes, if Trudie's kitchen fails, I can join the circus. Yeah, no, look, we produce a short shelf life, premium quality salads, and we supply all the major retailers. And, you know, if I was to go back and start a business again, I think I'd pick something with a longer shelf life. So we're totally up against it every day. We have to purchase in fresh Wexford vegetables every morning. We use Cullen's, who's part of the Wexford Food family. The Wexford Food family I'm chairperson of, and we've 52 amazing food businesses. And we will be sending out the link that we get back from me now, and that'll be extended to all of the members of the Wexford Food family. And I know some of them are part of it already. And like, we have to produce fresh each day to go out either that evening or the following morning, and then start all over again. So we have a very simple system. And I think as well as that with MentorsWork is we've always had simple processes that work because people understand them. And like, we'd have a team of, like, we're like the spokes of a wheel. We're all totally individual within our business, but each person is vital to the business to make the wheel go round. And what we found was that we had a heat wave there just in July, and the retailers really depended on us. So we upskilled and produced all that week. On the Monday, I saw it's going to be a really hot week. We have to double everything. So our existing team doubled. Everyone did 12, 14 hours a day, got out then the evening, had your evenings off, and came back in and did it again the next day. Whereas the bigger salad producing companies couldn't get their wheels to move quick enough. And we ended up supplying all the different places with additional product that we don't supply. And so we doubled our sales that week, but we were ready for it. Our team were ready, our whole processes and that. And once we discussed with the team, look, it's going to be a long week, they're going to be long hours because there's still only 20 people here. And if you double it, you should have had 40 people, but our 20 people were eager and excited and knew that we could do it. So the confidence that everyone has gained within our business, and like, we always had great systems. We were national hygiene award winners on numerous occasions in the past. So our systems have always been there, but now our reporting back on a regular basis that our systems are succeeding for the business, and the people within the business could see that the quality of the value of each person has been risen through the MentorsWork program and through COVID. We have never had a problem in retaining our people or getting new people. So we're very lucky in that sense. And I think people just feel so much more valued now that they have different titles, that they have been trained how to do that position, and the value of self-worth outweighs anything else. So I would totally be grateful to the MentorsWork program, because I think our business now will reach 21 years and go forward with the learnings that we took that time during COVID. And it's not a big time deficit that you need to do into it. You know, you can dip in, dip out, and what you learn on that session will actually enhance your business and your own personal worth within the business going forward.
Thank you so much, Trudie, for sharing your amazing journey with us. And before we come to the end of today's webinar, may I start again with Dave? And if there was one thing, Dave, at the beginning of the webinar, we said we were getting ready now for the last quarter and for 2022. If there's one thing that small businesses should do now to get ready, what should they do?
I suppose, Sven, in the short term, there's a couple of things they can do, but some of them have shorter term implications, and some of them are things that they might do now that set them up for success in the years ahead. So if it's through MentorsWork initiative, for example, I think that there's a challenge for a number of companies as they begin to make that shift back to the office environment, as Tony talked about earlier on. So there's lots of different models out there, whether you stay fully working from home or, fully from the office. But I mean, of course, what we read a lot about is the hybrid model. But there's lots of different implications of that for business owners, people who need to figure out, you know, the extent of staff consultation, the logistics, the HR side of things, etc. And I think smaller companies need some help to kind of walk their way through that kind of journey, as it were. And I think that's an important piece of discussion and activity that can be engaged in through the MentorsWork initiative, you know, getting that hybrid model right for your business. But then I suppose maybe in the kind of the longer term piece, Sven, is just there's a couple of other things then around, you know, Ireland and where Ireland's at. You know, you know, of course we read, you know, with frequency around the climate challenge, etc. We see the impact of it when we look at the news. But I suppose down at business level, then how can we make our businesses more sustainable? You know, so again, I think that's something that a lot of companies are grappling with, and smaller, medium-sized companies are really getting their head around at the moment, you know, to make their business more sustainable. As Trudie had said in her piece, she always had great systems, you know, and you know, but gets the best out of those systems now from a reporting perspective and so on. So it's about leveraging all of the good stuff that's there, but also maybe looking at the new bolt-ons that are needed to drive a more successful and a more sustainable business as well. You know, so I think they're the types of things, Sven, that companies are grappling with, and that they can get support with through the MentorsWork initiative. But maybe also just, you know, just briefly just to mention through Skillnet Business Networks, because through Skillnet Networks, we should deliver 8,000 plus training and education programs each year. There's a huge range of supports out there for smaller companies over and above the MentorsWork initiative, which is excellent. And the mentoring piece is key to it. But there's a lot of education and training programs there for companies and their staff. And again, just to kind of maybe follow up on Trudie's point, you know, she found that there was a ripple effect, a really positive impact on her business when she went through MentorsWork, and she could see how it, you know, lit the enthusiasm of her staff and other members of the team engaged. And again, if that happens in your business, for those who participate in MentorsWork, the Skillnet networks are there to help with, you know, highly subsidized education and training programs that can help staff improve in whatever specific area of skills that they need to improve in. So that's just yet another support that's out there for people.
Thanks, Dave. And Veronica, from your perspective, the one last thing and one thing that small business should be doing to get ready for back to school, what is it they should do?
I think it's to lift their head and psychologically move forward, that we are advancing. And they're important conversations to be having now. I think people have been a little bit caught frozen, you know, in a little bubble. And it's really important now, you know, the subject of today's webinar is about innovation. And businesses can often be sitting on really good opportunities. And, you know, if they don't do it, maybe someone else will see that opportunity. And this is it's a really good opportunity through the MentorsWork program to delve into small elements of innovation. Innovation doesn't have to be huge. Some of the most profitable ideas often come out of really simple ideas, again, coming from across the team. So I would be encouraging people to lift their head and perhaps, you know, move back from the paralysis and absolutely actively move forward. If a business is still feeling a little bit caught, now is the time to seize the day to move forward.
Thank you, Veronica. And Tony, from your perspective, what is the one thing small business should be doing right now?
Apologies, tying into what Veronica and Dave have said, I think it's plan, you know, put a plan in place and take advantage of the supports and training that are available. So increase your skill set, as Trudie has talked about in her business. So increase the skills of your team so that you're able to adapt, move quicker, be more flexible and agile, and take advantage of opportunities.
And Barry, from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I'd echo again probably what Dave said. I like the idea of staff consultation. I think, you know, conducting a staff survey or talking to your people and making sure they feel involved and engaged with the business, I think is really important. I think in terms of upskilling, I think it's essential. I think businesses, I'd highly recommend businesses conduct a skills audit. You know, looking at kind of what skills do you have and what skills will you need, you know, how jobs are going to evolve, and make a plan for how these skills are going to be brought into the organization. And from a recruitment perspective, I'd recommend that companies hire and train for adaptability and bring in people who are willing to to learn and embrace new skills and adapt to new roles.
Thank you, Barry. And over to you, Trudie, for your famous last words.
I just feel that communication is key to any success, and communicate who you are, what you do with your team, with your suppliers of your raw materials, and with your customers. So I think to have that open communication and keep everyone updated in relation to where you're at, and just keep positive, because like the positivity within our workplace, I think is what's keeping everyone safe in relation to the pandemic that's out there. But we've just feel keeping everyone updated, communicated with on all the three tiers, you're within house, from the suppliers and to our customer, to the end user. And it's just keeping open communication, and everyone's opinion really matters and is really valued. So I think that's what is the success of our team, and the happiness that they're able to radiate. And then in that case, then it just shows in our finished product and the trust in the Trudie's product. So communication is key.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Barry. And thank you, Trudie. That is all that we have time for on this month's Champion Green webinar. To apply for MentorsWork and more information, go to mentorswork.ie. Also, regularly check the Champion Green website, championgreen.ie, where we'll be posting the recording and also the link to government supports in the coming days. And can I also ask you to check the Champion Green website with details about our next major consumer marketing drive, which will launch in September, the Champion Green Week. Looking forward to seeing you soon at our next webinar next month with some practical business advice. Best of luck with all the back to school stuff and for the last quarter of the year. And thanks again to our excellent panel, and see you all soon. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.